I want our attacking players to be freer, to go after things a little bit more, to go 1v1 more in the box, to be aggressive in the last third, to play a little bit more with confidence and belief that they are going to make a difference on the day, right? And if we can do that and we can be stable in the back and effective on set pieces, we will win this game.
I am filled with joy today to welcome a trailblazing American, the pride of Racine, Wisconsin, via Leeds. A gent who became only the second American-born human in our nation's history to take the reins at a Premier League club when he became manager of mighty Leeds United. It's Mr. Jesse Marsch.
Thanks, pal. How are you doing?
Great. Let's dive in to the United States. We have lived an opening game draw, which felt a bit like a loss against Wales, and then a draw against England, which felt like a win. Big picture, what have you made of our boys' performances?
Yeah, I think it's been relatively positive, with a group of young players that have not experienced the tournament before. They've looked confident and clear. I think they've obviously, if they could have managed a way to hold on to the lead or add to the lead, maybe deliver a little bit better second half against Wales, then maybe the storyline would be a little bit different right now. But in general, I think they should feel well poised to get out of the group and well poised to have a good match against Iran. So it's important that we as fans and as the team don't underestimate what Iran can bring. But if you would have asked me before the tournament started, okay, we have a knockout or a round of 32 game to get us into the 16 against Iran, I would have said, okay, we'll take that. So I think we're in good position, and now we just got to deliver another good performance and our best performance yet.
Other than the boys that play for you, which American gents have caught your eye and why?
Musa. Love that kid. He gets around the pitch. He plays with experience beyond his years. He has flexibility of playing in the 8, playing wide sometimes, being a little bit deeper. He's very athletic and active in the match. He plays very confident. I think he's been outstanding. Anthony Robinson, I think, is a very good player. I think he's done really well for himself. Yeah, but if you were to really break it down for me, Tyler Adams has been outstanding.
This is actually a meeting of the Tyler Adams Appreciation Society. I think other than Tyler Adams' mother, there are very few Americans that adore that man more than you and me, and we will get to Tyler. Yeah. But I do want to say, watching the boys take on England fearlessly, I watched the game live on Twitch with Matthew McConaughey, and he marvelled at how our midfield buccaneered against their opponents, swarming, pressing, hunting for possession in packs. And we discussed, I was like, oh my God, when you describe them like that, they remind me of your Leeds United.
Yeah, I could see that in some ways. I mean, they're young, they're athletic, they can play with intensity. There's obviously differences, but in general, it's a fun team. It'd be a fun team to coach, And when I say these things, everybody thinks I'm positioning myself, but it's just like looking at it from a perspective of a coach. You could see how fun it would be to work with these young, talented, aggressive, fearless players every day. So yeah, that's good. I mean, good. McConaughey's got he's developing an eye for football. It's pretty good. It's good to hear.
And I do want to say, when I say they'd be fun to coach, I am positioning myself, and I think McConaughey and Bennett would be one for the future. But perhaps it's not a coincidence that the US remind me a little bit about Leeds, because Tyler Adams is at the heart of both teams, and his performances have been ecstatically elite in this tournament. I spent a year podcasting with him. It's incredible to watch him revel and excel. Even more when you do remember, and you will remember, he began the year in a lull at Leipzig. He had injuries, limited minutes, he was frustrated. And what a difference 6 months, mate. You've played no small part in that resurgence. What adjustments from the inside has Tyler Adams made that have allowed him to really, really run a game?
Tyler, for me, when he can play with confidence and intensity and display his athleticism and his intelligence combined, he can be elite. And I knew that. I knew that before he came to Leeds. And the key for me was just having these kinds of conversations to unearth it more and get him on track, and then allow him to be himself. So I don't want to take any credit for Tyler. I think he deserves all the credit. But the fit here at Leeds has been really good for him and for us. So I think it's just got him into a place where he's playing with more confidence and belief in himself than he ever has.
He's also wearing the armband. The captaincy is his. In my mind, belatedly, this gent was born to lead. And I know the idea of leadership is something that you think about a lot. Can you describe the leadership side of Tyler's game?
He's true to himself. He's for a young man his age, I think he's gotten comfortable with exactly who he is. There's times when you're a footballer that you have to know how to say the right things, but say them in a way that represents yourself. And then there's other times where you just have to say what you think. And his balance of kind of understanding how to do that and get that balance right and represent himself in both ways is really, really good. So he's a smart kid. I think people underestimate how intelligent he is. In this world, there aren't as many professional football players who have had as good an upbringing, had as good a education as what he's had, and I think he and his family are grounded in all the things that matter in life, not just in football. So he's special. I texted him before the match, and I said to him, the day I saw him when he was 15 years old playing with the U17s, I literally that day envisioned him captaining the World Cup team. When I saw that young man play at that age, I could see the building blocks of something really special.
Well, what did you see, Jesse? What did you see?
Just presence on the pitch, understanding of what were good plays, what were bad plays, ability to communicate with his teammates in ways that were real, just an ease to his everything, every motion. There was like no wasted motion on the pitch as a 15-year-old. And for me, it was like, wow, if I could just have a chance to help guide that to be a vision of what I think it could be. And that's often, this is the beauty of young players, and then the experiences that you can have if you've been in this business a long time, is you can take all of the different people and players that you've either played with or played against or worked with or seen, and you can start to create these little like building blocks and pathways of the potential of what that person, given their gifts and talents and limitations, and how to see where that can end up at its best. So that's almost what I enjoy the most, other than match day and having big wins and big moments. But like the connection you can make with people to really help them be their best, that's what is often the most fun.
I want to touch upon a couple of players very quickly. Christian Pulisic, a different player when he wears an American jersey. And I read an interview with you where you said, I don't know him well enough, but I'd love to get to know him more because I can see so much potential in there, and I often wonder how to tap into it. How have you analysed his tournament, and what are your thoughts about how to tap into our gent Christian?
Yeah, I think he's been good. I think even Berhalter referenced after the last game that they were asking him to be a little bit more defensive tactically when they played more like a 4-2-2-2 against the ball. Which maybe doesn't get him in the positions to attack quite as much, but I think he's been effective in games. I think he's been disciplined. I think, obviously his assist was very good in the first match. I think overall it's been a positive. Obviously, we want a little bit more from all of our attacking guys right now, and to be a little bit more dangerous and see if we can find ways to be a little bit more of a threat, and that will be necessary in this Iran game for sure.
Brendan Aaronson, for me, pound for pound, the most potent attacking American threat on the men's side. Just 37 minutes played in this World Cup. You know him so well. The kid, the Leeds fans call Yank Badger. What will he be experiencing on the bench, so potent, but unable to really help his team?
Well, I think he accepts the role fully. He's still young, and he knows it's a good group, it's a good team. He's done well for himself, and I think well enough that he should be the first option off the bench, and he can wrap his mind around that role, and I think do a really good job in it. Obviously, if he were to start on any given day, he can do a job, and he understands, and he's a good player, and he can help the team. So I think that's what's most important. And even when I texted to Brendan before the tournament started, that was one of the things I said to him is don't worry about what your role is. Just commit to the team, give everything you have. The World Cup is a special moment. Believe in the group, believe in the coach. And now when you're called upon, be ready to make an impact in every way that you possibly can. And Brendan doesn't require big reminders like that. He's such a good kid. He's a team player all the way, and he'll do whatever it takes. So, yeah, obviously the 2 games I'm watching, I'm like, make a sub, get him on, right? Because I love the kid so much, but I know that he'll be ready in any role that he's needed.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't want to hijack your interview, but when McConaughey and Bennett are American coaches, we will be making subs. We'll be subbing Brendan inside the first 10 minutes.
Okay.
But Tuesday,
that's good to know.
I'm always lobbying. Tuesday is an enormous game, the biggest men's clash our American boys have had in 8 long years. And Iran, playing this World Cup in the shadow of true geopolitical domestic turmoil, are still on the field, a collective fist. They can hurt opponents. Their players are motivated. What should we fear most about their play?
Yeah, I would think about the good play in the counter-attacking situations, right? Which they showed against Wales. Obviously, against England, they get opened up a little bit, but against Wales, I thought that they were pretty solid. Didn't give much away. So for them, it's always interesting in these situations. Playing for a tie is the worst thing you can do because it almost guarantees a loss, right? So I think they still have to find their opportunities to be aggressive and to command the game with the ball, and certainly to get out in transition. Our ability to counter press and stay stable when we have the ball will be of the utmost importance so that they don't get out on the transition. An early goal either way could really make this game interesting. Certainly an early goal for us would be the best case scenario, because I think the more that Iran was asked to have to come out and play, the more that we could be effective in the things that we want to do. So, yeah, a fast start for the U.S. I think will be really important.
A lot about this game is going to be about the mental mindset of the US boys when they take the field. And there's a couple of things you said that I found really interesting. You said there's an identity of fearlessness and belief in US teams. They're too young to be afraid, too young to know better. But you've also said that we as Americans are sometimes guilty of an arrogance because we expect to get out the group, and those expectations are far too high sometimes. How do you take a team, Jesse, after a positive result and let them find that balance by drawing strength from it, yes, but not taking too much strength that it turns into overconfidence?
This group has an inner belief, right? I think it's stemmed in their talent, but it's also stemmed in the fact that they're almost all from a younger age group. Some of them have played in youth tournaments together. Most of them are flying back and forth from Europe, and they see each other in Champions League games or in league matches. There's an identity to the group about being unified and believing in themselves at a young age.
The US need a win tomorrow, and in 2010 they were in an identical position, third group stage game. Then they faced Algeria, and you were Bob Bradley's right-hand man as an assistant US coach, and we all paid witness to Landon Donovan's 91st minute heroics, but you did so right there from the bench. What was the most important lesson you took from that incredible experience that we can all learn from?
Well, first, I have a little story that I've never told. Okay, we stayed at the Bakubung Reserve, they called it, where there was a safari park, and on the outside of the park, they would sell these tourist trinkets, sometimes like an African mask or a little carved wooden giraffe. And so I just was kind of looking at some of these things before heading back to our hotel. And a woman came up and gave me a little wooden elephant, and it had its trunk up. And she said, "This is good luck." And I said, "Okay, how much is it?" And she said, No, I want you to have this. This is for you. I want you to have it. So I was like, okay. So I had it in my pocket when we were playing against England, and then and I don't believe in superstition or luck. I truly am not like, I don't believe in these things. But I had this thing in my pocket, and then I was rubbing it, and then it was 1-1. And then we were down 2-0 against Slovenia, and I was rubbing the thing like crazy, and we came back at 2-2. We actually won 3-2. They called the goal back. And then it was the same, now it's even against Algeria, and now I'm whittling that thing down to like a toothpick, right? And so even when we scored, like, if you were to look careful, like, I sort of jump up, but I jump up with one arm because I want to make sure that the elephant that I'm rubbing in my pocket, that I don't lose it or throw it away, because I knew that I didn't want to lose it. I knew I was going to need it. So anyway,
where's the elephant now, Jesse? Where?
Yeah, I have it. I have it. I don't use it anymore. After that tournament, I kind of retired it, but I have it in my collection of different things that I have at home. But in in a moment like that in 2010, the emotion, the feeling of accomplishment, right? It's so big, and then quickly thinking about, okay, there's still 3-4 minutes left in the match. Do we need to make a sub? How do we make sure we hold on to this? Like, because the worst thing you can ever do in those situations is give a goal right back. So, but yeah, that was certainly a big moment. I can only imagine. I've seen some interviews with Landon talking about it over the last couple of weeks. For someone like Landon Donovan, to know that he could have such an effect on a nation, like the energy that brought to an entire nation. What an incredible feeling it must be for a guy like him. And so here we have, I think I know I'm rambling here a little bit, but I'll just finish by saying what we're all looking for out of the World Cup and out of our team is, I think, inspiration, right? Is this commitment to do whatever it takes, and the moments, right? The readiness to seize the moment. So here we go. Here we have Tuesday.
How is it going to go tomorrow? Where on the field will it be won or lost, Jesse?
I think that we will command the game, that our defenders' ability to stay tuned in to where their attacking players are at all moments will be incredibly important. I want to see us do better with set pieces. Against England, I thought some of Christian's service was really good, but the dynamic runs in the box and the aggressiveness to attack and win balls, and they allowed Harry Maguire to just clear too many.
Everything.
Yeah.
Harry Maguire's head.
I still think that a U.S. team in the World Cup needs to be effective in set pieces. So I hope that we see more dynamic play in that area of the game.
It's the one area you can truly control and prepare for, right? I mean, it's a gift in international football.
And then I think, I want our attacking players to be freer, to go after things a little bit more, to go 1v1 more in the box, to be aggressive in the last third, to play a little bit more with confidence and belief that they are going to make a difference on the day, right? And if we can do that and we can be stable in the back and effective on set pieces, we will win this game. So that will be key for me.
Listen to the full version of this podcast and all our podcasts wherever you get your pods. But first, subscribe here for more Men in Blazers videos and courage.